Bam. All right, that should be recording, right? Looks like it. Let's blink and yeah. All right. Hello again, YouTube. It's been a while. So, I don't know. I thought about what I should talk about. I'll probably talk about my health first. Because without my health working right, I'd be dead. So, I'm not dead, which means it's working better. My medicine, I'm on new medicine. One that doesn't give you as much headaches as I had before. The doctors in Boston kept insisting that the only option was methotrexate. They kept pushing back, saying, that insurance wasn't going to improve anything else. I couldn't prove that I was having headaches. I wasn't having a fever. I was just having such horrible headaches. And the doctor gave me a piece of paper that wanted me to be part of some methotrexate research thing, and I said, no, I'm all done with this. I don't want to be laying in bed dying of headaches now. I'm all done. I'm tired of trusting the Boston doctors and the Boston healthcare. I don't know why I fell through such a problem. I was very fortunate to have a few good doctors, but some of them, I feel like they just treated me like a number. So I ended up moving to a new state after, waiting almost 6-7 months for primary care to look at my health records and help me through this. Because this has been going on since I had that electrical burn on my leg in like 2010. So that's why a lot of my background's about doing electrical work. Which I went through the NJATC in Boston. It was a 5-year apprenticeship. I had 3 years of my life with perfect attendance. Still wasn't good enough, But I was troubleshooting city work and with another guy who was a master electrician, and we both nearly died. And he said to me, you're going to be talking about this job for the rest of your life. Never let the DCR forget what happened here today, he said to me. And he said, it's lucky it didn't go through the left side of my body, through my heart. I would have been dead. And then I ended up in a private doctor's home. They didn't send me to a hospital, and now I understand why. Because if I went to a hospital, it would have been public and it would have been on the news. So they tried to bury me and the other guy, who I heard died later. So people ask me about court dockets and all that. It's all public search. It's out there. Like I don't want to be in a situation like this where I would want to talk about that stuff, but this is my life. I'm lucky I survived. I was going to physical therapy, and one day I got hit by a car coming back from physical therapy, and insurance still denied me coverage, saying that, you were leaving physical therapy. I had a lawyer try to help, but it's kind of like, what do we do? So, and the whole workman's comp thing was against the DEI hires that they were putting lives at risk. They nearly got me and the other guy killed. And then the second one was another one that nearly got us killed. He had me take a pipe to the neck. I don't care who gets upset hearing about that. That guy, because I didn't want to do anything gay with him? Come on. Grow up. Huh? Jesus Christ. For someone to get mad at you at work because you're too straight, are you kidding me? Where's this guy from? The moon? All right. Anyway, I'm just some guy on the internet with unbelievable experiences. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I'm going to sip my drink for a second because I don't know what else to talk about. But here I am, surviving and talking about it, trying to recover. So anyway, now that the brave lawyers I did have were able to help me get partial insurance coverage in a state that, I guess decided that I really wasn't worth helping enough. I was just a city worker trying to fix infrastructure. Who cares? We don't need you. So I'm in a new state now, and they have me on a biologic injection. And my headaches are almost gone. I had a pretty bad one, last week. They had me down for almost 24 hours. It's like, I can't tell you what these migraines are like, but they are debilitating, man. My career in music's completely been over. I cannot go to hear live music because I get headaches from just loud volumes, even with earplugs in. So it's Nothing. I never had that problem in my life, ever. I used to play guitar and bass and bands, rock bands, metal bands, all sorts of loud stuff. Never bothered me. It was like second nature. I was thriving off it. People told me never change, you're awesome. And then one day I got sick, I got lame, and then nobody even believes I was the guy I was. So anyway, I'm here now hoping to God that I will be able to continue to afford my medicine and budget whatever little benefits I was able to secure to not end up homeless. You know, I've been renting the same room for a while. I don't know if we can end up paying off this property. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the new president going through everything. I feel like eventually I'm going to get called back to court for review. How you doing? Well, I had to leave the state of Massachusetts because they nearly poisoned me to death with another experimental increase in the wrong medicine. You know? Because why? I don't know, but ask the doctor why insurance said the only thing I can have is methotrexate. My new doctor in this new state says those doctors were lying. So, you know, once again, it's the same thing that happened in the other hearings. The doctors weren't agreeing, and one was saying one thing, another was saying another. One misdiagnosed me, one gave me the runaround, and, you know, I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm grateful for any lawyer that can figure this stuff out because I can't. I was an engineering student for the city, and I depended on leadership's decisions to train us properly and help keep us alive, not have some agenda narrative that was more important than the lives of the workers or civilians involved in the projects. What happened to me on that DCR job put me at risk, and everybody who broke into that pool when the engineer at the city DCR should have locked that gate. And when the master electrician called the city and said, "What are you doing breaking the safety agreements? This gate should be locked. The panel should be, we should have access to the panel." And I remember the engineer from the city telling him that it inconvenienced the public. The safety hazards were an inconvenience to the public that they left there for us to stumble upon. And this is where I get mad, because where's the accountability, huh? You're going to train people to do 5 years of life and property protection under a code book and then put us to work with people that could care less about the skill and the aptitude it takes to comprehend these things properly, to be able to effectively and efficiently apply the code in a neat and workmanlike manner? So anyway, I'm still alive so far. My neck doesn't have the bandage on it anymore. That was one of the reasons I wasn't bothering playing video games or being online and doing this content creation thing, because I would have been like this half the day, and talking a lot just bothered it more. But it's kind of drained. It's down. It's now back on around my lower back. I got a bandage back there. My doctor says that the new stuff seems to be helping because it's not as bad as it was. Like, you people out there wouldn't understand how horrible this is unless you've gone through some. My best doctors say it's an immune disorder. It's an immune response to something. You know, the first early doctor I had at the ER and the house doctor said that it was an immune response to electric shock. All right, my immune system got confused and started attacking my body. And they sent me to a dermatologist who just didn't seem to understand anything about electrical work and electrical hazards affecting the human body. But that's the bare minimum insurance the state of Massachusetts sent me to. You know, and I remember my girlfriend saying to me once, "I thought you were in a union." And I said, "I thought I was in a union too. I thought I was part of the Local 103. But then a Local 103 member said to me that you're only part of the school under the jurisdiction of the NJATC, which has nothing to do with those at the Local 103. It's an entirely different entity." Whoosh. Whoa, I didn't know that. How was your apprenticeship? So anyway, I don't know what to call this channel, but I'm not going to make it too long. I don't know if anyone cares too much. You might see my comments out there about my DEI complaints. I have every right to complain about, especially if I'm seeing pilots and ship navigators crashing into things because somebody wanted to rush somebody into a position that they weren't qualified for. You know, throughout my life and my decades growing up, that when something like that would happen, it's done under minimal responsibilities. So here, take this, take that. If anyone asks you doing this, but leave the hazardous work to the guy in charge that appointed you. Okay, you shouldn't be taking on the responsibilities of the licensed or engineered guy that's responsible for your life and everyone around you. Okay, that's being a patsy and a sap to take the fall for somebody else. Under what agendas? I don't know. Who knows? But those of us who survive and get to talk about these things, we got to speak up. Because it's otherwise, it's like we didn't even get to tell our part of the story, our side of the experience. So I don't know. What else can I say about that? I might get around to a game today. I'm not too feeling up to it. I played Quake 3 for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I got those models working and whatnot again. It's Jesus, man. It's over 25 years later now. I'm past my prime and like being involved in that, but I don't know. It was an easy game. It was a fun game to play. I'm not playing my guitar much again yet. I bought new acoustic strings. I'll see if I can strum around my steel string acoustic again. Then I'll think about getting electric. Set back up. But I'm going to say something religious here. God willing that I keep healing. And that I'll be able to do something with my projects, because I should have had a world-class education with opportunities. You know, a fair shot. Not a free pass, but a fair shot to study and work hard and prove myself. Instead of ending up with a world-class immune disorder because of what I did troubleshooting for the city of Boston. And how I fell backwards through their health insurance problems. And things that are so hard for me to talk about because of the discrimination I went through. You know, I don't even want to get into it because it just makes the whole story go. My lawyer said what I went through was reverse discrimination, which I never heard of in my life. Reverse racism. And he tried to get up and tell the judge that I went through reverse racism, and the other side said this is no such thing. And I'm sick, and my leg's throbbing in pain, and I'm trying to just stay awake and pay attention to the hearing. I cannot believe the things that I'm hearing at the hearing. So anyway, you know what I can tell you is I called the law offices of Mark E. Solomon because I'm in business. And they referred me to their lawyers. So anyone asks for a docket number or any of that stuff, it's all publicly searchable. You know, I'd like not to put my real name out there for as long as possible. Not that that's even possible for anyone anymore. But, you know, it was all in the city of Boston. There were probably 4 judges I had to go see throughout me going attending trials and then making sure I wasn't going through any more reverse discrimination. And a few different lawyers, the workman's comp lawyers and the benefits lawyers, and how I was denying all that, and geez, man. And here I am, just trying to dabble back into video games if I'm lucky. You know, it's like I'd rather be jumping around with my guitar on the weekends and having a decent 9-to-5 that feels fulfilling. Instead, I hope my leg doesn't inflame back up so I can walk and actually do food shopping. That's what I get for troubleshooting for the city of Boston. You're welcome. From the bottom of my heart, from one of the electrical workers who survived. Or whatever. I still feel loopy because of this medicine. A little bit. But I guess that's it for now. I don't know. I might play some other games. I need to learn to stream. I'm not used to interacting with the chat all day. Hey chat this, chat that. Kind of fell out of doing that stuff, but I might try again. I don't know. I might be too weird for the public by this point because of what I've gone through. Why do I keep doing it? Oh yeah, because those content creator channels say don't give up. Well, I got some problems. I know that not everyone would want to work with me because of that, but you know, I'm here existing, telling my story, being a real user, giving a like, giving a real review, and trying to get involved with the life I have to live for now. All right, I guess that's it. That's my rant. How long did this go on for? Do I even have a time counter here? I can't tell. I don't know. Well, anyway, thanks for listening to me rant, if at all. And if not, thanks for just clicking on my thumbnail and leaving a silly comment that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I made content today. Hooray. All right. I'll leave it at that. I got to figure out a title for this video. I don't know. Be well. Bye-bye.